I finally got the new BAMBU LAB A2L with AMS. For some time I had been looking for a printer with a bigger build volume, but I didn't really want to jump straight into the much more expensive H series. I was already starting to look at printers from other brands, and then the A2L appeared at pretty much the perfect moment, so I decided to go with this one. I bought it on launch day using my Maker World points, so technically I got it for free. Surprisingly, it arrived really fast, around 3 days after launch. For comparison, the previous printer I ordered from them, which was the P2S, took over a month to arrive. The package itself was completely fine, everything arrived in one piece and nothing was damaged. Unboxing and assembly were also very smooth, instructions were clear, the whole process was simple, and honestly this is something I really like about Bambu printers. So far I've never had any major issues assembling their machines. You just follow the steps, and even if you're not very experienced with this kind of stuff, it's still easy to put everything together. After assembling the printer, I had to make some space for it on my shelf. I don't really have much free space left, and also I don't need a fifth printer, so I decided that the A2L will replace one of my A1 combos. I will probably sell the A1 later. The plan is simple. This printer will have the same job as my A1 combo printers. The bigger build plate should give me more options and allow me to print more parts at once. For the AMS, I mounted it on top of the printer using a top mount. You can find the link in the description. I didn't print a new one because the mount from my A1 fit perfectly, so I just moved it to the new printer. After everything was assembled and placed where I wanted it, I started the full calibration. It was already pretty late, so I left the actual print test for the next few days. The first thing I printed was not a benchy, instead I decided to print one of the products from my store, wall hangers for die-cast cards in blister packs. On the A1 build plate I can only fit one piece of this specific model, and this was one of the main reasons why I wanted a bigger printer, being able to print more products in one go. As expected, the print finished without any issues. The quality was basically the same as on the A1, and I didn't notice any defects or problems. Together with the A2L you could also buy the interchangeable cutting and drawing toolkit. This is something new that came together with the H series, and I decided to order it right away to test it in the future. I printed a case for it so the parts wouldn't just be lying loose in a drawer. You can also find the link to this model in the description. This printer used the AMS a little bit, had a few separate parts, and the print also finished without any serious issues, but as you can see the first layer had some small defects. Honestly, I'm not very surprised. The printer is open, it stands close to the floor, and it is working in a normal room. For the next prints I use glue on the plate, just like I do with some of my other printers. Final result looks nice, everything fits together and the case does its job. It goes into the cabinet and hopefully I will be able to properly test the cutting and drawing kit soon. For the third print I wanted to use more of the build volume, so I chose a King of the Dead bust from the Lord of the Rings. Link for this model is also in the description. Model is split into two parts. The first main part had an estimated print time of around 30 to 38 hours depending on the setting, and this is where the first problem started. First attempt failed for a reason I still don't fully understand. The print showed a y-axis error, but I couldn't see anything obviously wrong. Still, I had to restart the print, so I started it again overnight. When I woke up, the print failed again. This time it showed an SD card error. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it felt like some random read issue. I removed the card, put it back in, and after that I was able to start the print for the third time. The third and final attempt finished without any problems. The result after around 34 hours of printing was really good. Everything stayed in place, the print looked clean, and overall I was happy with the quality. When I tried to print the second part of the model, the base for the bust, the printer unfortunately gave up. First, I started hearing strange knocking sounds from under the bed. Turned out that one of the belt mechanisms was not lubricated properly. Soon after that, another problem appeared. The printer stopped extruding filament. In the end, the problem seemed to be the extruder. It was full of filament and it was not fitting properly, and cleaning it didn't solve any issues. As if that wasn't enough, I accidentally ripped the filament sensor cable. So now I'm waiting for the parts, and once I replace them, I will continue testing the printer. It's a shame because apart from these technical issues, the A2L was actually printing really well. I also used it for a few other products for my store and the results were repeatable, clean, and exactly what I expected. Overall, my first impressions is still mostly positive. At this point, the A2L really feels like a bigger version of the reliable A1 combo. Will it stay in my setup long term? I think so. In the future, I would definitely like to invest in printers from the H series because they offer much more possibilities. But for now, I think the A2L should be a very good fit for my current needs. So even with the problems I had, I can still recommend it the same way I recommend the A1. one. Of course, this depends on whether my unit was just unlucky or whether everything works normally after replacing the part. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.